For roughly 9 days in March, more than 50 dog teams and their mushers will journey across more than 1,000 miles of desolate Alaska wilderness. The race clock starts tomorrow, but today is about community, fun, and yes, dogs. Lots of dogs ready to run. Welcome to the ceremonial start of Iditarod 2019.
Welcome. We are live in downtown Anchorage for the 47th ceremonial start of the Iditarod. I'm Patrick Enslow, joined along Jake Berkowitz. We are on 4th and Cordova. Our KTUU crew's got this whole thing covered from start to finish on the ceremonial start today. We'll be talking to tailgaters, mushers, maybe even a few dogs. But also along with our team back in the studio, two legendary mushers. You might have heard their names before, Libby Riddles and Dee Dee Johnrow.
Tomorrow, mushers will leave from Willow and head once again along the southern route. While many know getting to Nome is a challenge, some say that trail has some especially tricky spots. Sled dogs, sunshine, and snow.
Usually a lot deeper snow, slower trails, and we go up the Yukon River, so a lot more wind in your face than normal.
That's one of the challenges for mushers hitting the southern route.
I guess it'd be less traveled by snow machine traffic, so a lot of the times the trail doesn't have a base to it, so you're going to be going through sugar snow. And
traditionally, this race route is reserved for odd years, but it was skipped in 2015 and 2017 due to a lack of snow. The difference between the trails, mushers will head south into Iditarod, Shagaluk, Anvik, Grayling, and Eagle Island before hooking back up to Caltag.
Never ran it. I've signed up for the southern route 2 other times, but it's always moved to Fairbanks, so I'm really excited this year to actually go down the historical trail a little more.
Interesting thing with Jessie Royer as well is she's coming off another Quest finish. Last time she ran the Quest, she did her best in Iditarod, so she's doing the back-to-back, and I think both of these people have a real shot of getting into the top 10 or top 5 closer to that point.
And as a musher who's done both the Quest and Iditarod, what's that like?
It's pretty incredible. I mean, you enter into Iditarod already trail hardened. You're trail hardened. The dogs are trail hardened. You don't need 300 miles to really get in the mode of racing. You're ready to go. My dog team ran every day between the Quest and Iditarod, and I finished with some of the best looking dog teams that I've ever brought across the finish line after they just ran 2,000 miles, in just over a month.
And I can kind of see your face light up when you talk about that race. It looks like you about to just want to jump back out there. But kind of one of the things, too, that strikes me when we're talking about Linwood is just kind of being at that age but still being motivated. Dee Dee, Libby, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, but how some of these mushers still stay competitive so late into their career.
Well, they make us old mushers proud. I love it.
Yeah, well, and, this is just like my first year off the street. So, I certainly understand that. I turned 65 and, I was able to stay competitive until a couple of crises here right at the end. So I think that the thing is, it's about the dogs and the relationship with the dogs. And speaking of somebody that really understands that, we're looking at Matt Failer. He's going out number 17. He is a protege of Martin Boozer's. He is a neighbor of mine up in Willow. He had put the Cusco in his vision a few years ago. This has not been an easy training year in Bethel, or in Willow, but Matt made the best of it and did an outstanding job. So Patrick, it's yours.
Yeah, I think it's cool he got 17th bib when he's the 17th dog kennel.
Yours, Patrick.
Ooh. Awesome, good stuff. But Matt Failer, he introduced us actually to some of his dogs.
Okay, hello, KTUU Channel 2. My name is Matthew Failer, and you're looking at our wonderful dogs from 17th Dog Kennel here in Willow, Alaska. And I'm out on a training run. I've got 15 here, from which I'll choose 14 to go down the Iditarod Trail with me, which takes place next week. And I'm gonna take a moment and come to a stop and introduce them to you. Ho, ho. Good job. We've got SB and Rebel. J-Reb, come here. Rebel, come here, buddy. Good boy. That's SB and Rebel. Rebel on the left. This is Pantera and Premier. They like cooling down on a hot day. 0 degrees. This is Stanley, and that's his sister FIFA. This is Superfly. Everybody loves Superfly. We have Pink Floyd rolling around in the snow. We got Dirk, aka Dirkus McGurkus. Don't tell me what that is. I have no idea. Don't ask. This is Banshee, and then we have Lombardi. Hey, bud.
And we have Allie Zirkle at the line, always a fan favorite. Now, she was tossed around in their top 5, not in yours, but she had a little short distance race up there in the Yukon Quest. But what do you expect from Allie this year?
Yeah, I mean, Allie is always a great competitor. Her and Alan, lots of Yukon Quest wins out of that kennel, lots of top 10, lots of second place finishes out of Allie. She's always going to be a competitor. The last few years, I haven't seen the top end speed that Allie has brought in the past, a little bit slower. A lot of other teams are being able to do some of the longer runs and shorter rests, so it'll be really interesting to see. I believe MK caught up with Allie as well.
Yeah, let's hear what you have to say.
The last few years have been a little challenging for me. You know, it took a little while to get over some of the race issues I had 2 years ago or 3 years ago. This year I feel healthy, happy. I feel like the state of Alaska and all the people that are here are rooting for me, and I think I feel that, you know. You got to. When you run down 4th Avenue and everyone's cheering for you and excited, oh my goodness. It doesn't get any better than that. So just getting out on the trail. You ready to get down?
What about you, Violet? You ready?
Yes.
Guys, I ditched Jake, and I got a new partner, Harry Smith from NBC National. What are you doing up in Alaska in our neck of the woods?
Well, we're doing a profile on Blair Braverman. It's a rookie musher this year. Woman is really interesting. She's got an amazing social media following of 6,000 people. They call themselves the Ugly Dogs, and a lot of them are here. They've traveled all the way from Texas, from Idaho, from Boston, just to cheer her on. And she's kind of part of a new wave of mushers. She's been mushing dogs for 12 years. Really interesting character. And I have to say, I paid attention to this race for a long time. It is so cool to be here in person.
And I understand Blake is up to something. You never know what he's going to do, so we're going to catch up with Blake and Beth.
Hey everyone, so 25th running of the ceremonial start of the Iditarod, but Blake and I decided to kind of get away.
There's a lot going on over on 4th Avenue, and so we decided to come over to 9th in E. High Country Kennels is given the opportunity for people who don't have enough money to become an Iditarider. I tried, I bid $1,250, way too rich for my blood, so Christina Rose with High Country Kennels, she offered to give us a ride at a fraction of the cost, and this is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the Iditarod experience. What do you think?
What do you think? What have you gotten from tourists and people just coming by? People playing tourists.
It's just amazing, you know, and they get on, especially when they start to feel the power of the dogs, and they're like, wow, they're actually pretty fast, or these guys really enjoy this kind of stuff. It's really cool.
And this is the Iditarod experience because our lead dog is Owl. Owl ran the Iditarod.
What do you love about the Iditarod?
I love the dogs. The mushers are wonderful. What they have to go through to make it to the finish line is just incredible, and we're all very, very proud of all the dogs and the mushers and everyone involved.
All right, Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, enjoying the Iditarod here. It was wonderful. Back to you, Patrick.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Now we're going to head back into studio. Libby and Dee Dee there, and kind of get your final thoughts as we head into day one of the Iditarod.
Oh my God, it just kills me watching these guys. I want to go so bad. But, you know, we just all have race fever. We're going to be following it the next couple of weeks. Got to have a big shout out to all the beautiful people along the trail up in the villages. Enjoy following the mushers, and good luck to all the racers.
Tonight, races are on the trail and headed toward Nome. Channel 2's MK Burgess was there and has the sights and sounds of the Iditarod restart in Willow.
It is the day where everything matters. It is the start of Iditarod 2019. Now, we've heard about all of that snow up on the southern route, but according to some mushers, you just can't plan for everything.
It could be a spaceship, there could be moose, the Swedish bikini team could be out there. I don't know. I'm just trying to drive my dogs to Nome in a uneventful manner.
1, go. I'm not so sure about a bikini team on the trail, but I do know the mushers are preparing for moose early on this year with all the deep snow along the southern route. Now, something else to adjust to, 14 dogs this year instead of 16. But some mushers are excited to mush with whatever number of dogs they are allowed.
I'm just going to be content with it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, the last few years, people, I think when people start carrying dogs specifically because they said they have too much power and stuff, then I think it's a given that you're going to get dogs reduced. Like, I really feel that way. You know, I've carried dogs once in a while just because they were tired, or I felt like I'd given them a break, but I never felt like I had too much power. I always thought it was fun with 16 dogs. I think it'll be fun with 14, though. I mean, rules are rules. I'm a rule follower. You tell me start with 9 dogs, done. I'll start with 9.
There goes Jesse. Of course, we're going to have all of that trail coverage throughout the entire race starting today, tomorrow, and until someone crosses that furled arch in Nome.
Channel 2's MK Burgess is live in McGrath with the story. Hi, MK.
Hi, Victoria. It's his first Iditarod since 2016. Lance Mackey back on the trails. He dominated from 2007 to 2010.
MK Burgess and Beth Burge are live in McGrath with what the second part of the race means to Lance Mackey and his fans. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Victoria. Well, Beth and I both agree. When you see Mackey interact with people, it is something special.
Yeah, he certainly affects people from checkpoint to checkpoint, that's for sure.
Also affecting us is this race as well. As you can see, Beth is losing her voice just a little bit. But I got to chat with Lance Mackey just before he took off from McGrath today. Now, he says this year Mackey has no race strategy except to enjoy the moment. He wants to take in every little stop on the trail on what he calls his victory lap, mostly because each stop is a memory from a previous race.
It is an emotional roller coaster ride. It doesn't matter what position you're in or how many times you've done it. It's a memory that you just don't forget, you know, but to relive them, it's pretty special.
So we'll have more tomorrow from Unilcleat with the drivers start getting in here and we get a chance to evaluate that. And for now, for the first time in 36 hours, I'm going to get more than 4 hours of sleep and get something to eat.
And we appreciate all the work that you're doing, Dee Dee. Now, the lead mushers are expected to reach the Unilcleat checkpoint sometime tomorrow. Channel 2's Sean McGuire shows us how the community is preparing to welcome the Iditarod teams.
At mile 737 of the Iditarod Trail, the coastal community of Unilcleat is preparing for mushers to arrive. As strong winds gusted, some hardy souls still ventured outside. Inside the checkpoint, crews are getting everything ready.
Teams have hit the coast, and it will be a dogfight to see who wins. MK Burgess has a first-hand look at how the leader pack is tightening up into a close race.
It's always a race to the finish, but things especially speed up on the coast. You want to know how fast this race can get? How about 3 mushers in under 10 minutes in one checkpoint? Chase on the coast has begun. Nick Petit left at 2:45 in the afternoon from Unilcleat. But there's a pack of 3 mushers hot on his trail. Peter Kaiser was next into the checkpoint, opting to grab food and move on to Shaktoolik.
Good luck. Thank you. Let's go, Pete. All right.
Defending champ Your Life Seth Olsson followed suit, pulling out just before Jesse Royer pulled in.
So I'm here on the coast with Channel 2, and I'm explaining to some of the guys out here what are some of the strategies that are being used on the coast. And one of those is to send a fresh sled, fresh gear out here so that you don't have to fool around with frozen buckles and zippers and a bag that's been through, and this year, a lot of water and difficult to maneuver in.
Now, it's been a heartbreaking day for musher Nick Petit, who had been leading the way for much of the race until he tells Iditarod Insider a fight between his dogs impacted the rest of his team. Petit scratched in Shaktoolik around 7 o'clock this evening. Now, we've got special correspondent Dee Dee Johnrow on the phone with us tonight. And Dee Dee, you met up with Nick at the Shelter Island cabin. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I found Nick's team all cozied in together on the cot in the cabin, and they were, what he had going on there was a mental health issue. The dogs are fearful of this stretch of the trail, and it's, he didn't expect it. They're moving well, they're physically healthy, but, I think mental health is probably something that both the whole team had in common. And I got to tell you, the truth is, I've been there. I know how it feels. It's devastating.
He was the first one in and the first out, but how does musher Pete Kaiser, currently in first place, feel about the last leg of the race? Iditarod veteran Didi Johnrow caught up with him 1 hour before he left out of White Mountain.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a lead, but still not insurmountable, so we're trying to make sure we're staying realistic about everything, but gonna just go and have try to have as good a run as we can to Nome and see how it plays out.
Welcome to the live finish of the 47th running of the Iditarod. I am joined, of course, as you recognize, by Didi Johnrow, a veteran herself. Whole story to tell there, but for now, we're going to focus on Pete Kaiser. He has inspired many already. 4-time Kuskokwim 300 champion. Lots of supporters here too, right, Didi?
Western Alaska is here in spades.
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. And we actually got to talk to his father and his wife today. His dad talked about just seeing him ride behind one dog when he was 3 or 4 years old a long time ago, and how that's kind of served as an inspiration for lots of people across Alaska too. But here is what Pete Kaiser's wife Bethany had to say earlier today.
At the start in Anchorage, I was hopeful for a top 10 finish, but I also knew he had not that great of a training season, so it was interesting to see him pass, and then to come this far and have him be in White Mountain and still kind of have an edge. It's pretty impressive to see.
Now, Didi, you know the Kaiser family pretty darn well. Can you tell us a little bit about Pete and who he is for those of us who maybe aren't so familiar?
Well, first of all, this was a dream that started with his father. And, his mother is from the Western Alaska, and that family has long time roots, which is exciting because, we're talking about born, bred, and inspired right from the roots of Bethel. And that's one of the things Bethel's so excited about.
Let's go back to MK one more time. She is still in the chute. MK, we know you can see the lights from there.
Oh, no, I can see the lights. You can hear the cheers now, Beth. I mean, he's getting closer and closer, and that excitement is just building. Everyone's got their phones out. People are slowly kind of inching into the streets, trying to get that feel, that first view of Pete Kaiser as he comes down Front Street in Nome. Honestly, it is one of the coolest sights. It is one of the coolest feelings, and it is something that is almost irreplaceable. Not almost, it is irreplaceable. So, if you ever get a chance to experience this, it's something that you'll remember forever. And Didi can attest to that. There's no feeling, I'm guessing, than getting to come down Front Street.
It's amazing. Just amazing.
Such an amazing thing happening right now. We know that Pete Kaiser started racing in the Iditarod in 2010. He has numerous top 10 finishes, but he's only ever finished as high as fifth. And that happened 3 times, including last year. I mean,
but fifth is high.
Oh,
fifth is
listen,
high,
finishing, getting out there is...
He didn't have to jump to the 3, 2, 1. I mean, this is a
launch. Yeah.
And, I had him in my top 5 choices. And
she had him in a bracket.
I had him in the bracket, but I didn't have him in the right order.
Close, though.
Close. Very close.
That counts. And, even just with this home stretch, we can see him here on Front Street. Oh, this is so exciting.
I know.
I just love it.
I know.
There aren't quite as many people here, though, as you've seen before, but I mean, the energy is still there.
But the reason there isn't is because we've had this bad weather, and all the flying hasn't been able to happen. Even the Alaska Airlines flights haven't always been predictable and landed. So, we're trying to come from Western Alaska with charters. There were numerous charters set up. They haven't all been able to get in.
Mm-hmm. Now, as for the people who are here and what you've seen, you talk about,
look.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You talk about how important a win like this is, but does it get even better when you have conditions like this?
I think
and a
so.
race that's as dramatic as it was? I mean, does that make it more meaningful, or is it like, I won the thing,
Hey,
this is it?
Nobody wins easy. Everybody works at it. But to have it not be sure in your mind till you cross the line, I think that's a pretty high adrenaline rush.
Did you see him, and I mean, you talked about his confidence, but did you see him waver at all? Like, oh man, I'm getting chased? Or is it like you said, you want to cross the line and have it happen?
He would not believe it till it happened. It's there,
That tear
Look
is
at
coming.
that.
Is
Oh, this
that
is so
thrilling
amazing.
or what? Yes. Good
And you
job,
can
Pete.
hear
Good
the
job.
crowd. You can see the crowd. Congratulations to Pete Kaiser after all these years.
That's
and the
right.
first UPIC winner of this amazing race. too.
And I just, this is congratulations to his family, to his mom and dad,
Community.
to the community. I mean, good job, Pete. Good job. He dreamed big and he grabbed it.